trust something as crazy as that. That's too suspicious.
It's a trap.
I mean, it is. It's got to be. There's no way it's going to bomb, man.
All right, we're live.
But, you know, I couldn't say if I worked with Unreal Engine. Apparently, that would be a blocked word. We'll get in that.
Is bomb one of them? I didn't know.
No, you can't say nuke.
Nuke.
So I'm pretty sure bomb is next because, you know, you got to keep it going. You got to keep finding new ways to.
Don't want to trigger anybody. I bet you can't say
Trigger.
trigger.
Trigger sounds like a pretty sensitive word to eventually get blocked from Unreal Engine coding, too. Just keep on. Just a continuous, nonstop rain of eventually just not going to be able to use words.
Yeah.
That's what it is. This is eventually, like, you're just going to have to, like, leave out 99% of terms.
That's the plan is to rewrite the entire English language.
To not make sense.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that eventually they're not going to make sense.
A country that can't communicate.
It's a really easy country to take over.
All right, and with that, let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype,
we have Bloodaxe.
All right. First up, let's talk about, let's see, what do we want to talk about? This one's interesting. I mean, as a YouTube channel ourselves and have been a victim of multiple takedowns. I mean, this is a bit painful to see, man.
That's why we don't mess with any Nintendo games.
Yeah,
like you cannot even cover a Nintendo game. You can barely say Nintendo without getting struck by Nintendo.
Supposedly, now this is of course this YouTuber has claimed this. Warner Brothers has not responded, so I can't say that it's 100% factual. But it claims Warner Brothers is threatening to destroy a YouTube channel because of its Mortal Kombat 1 videos and mods. This YouTuber, Toasted Shoe, says Warner Brothers is threatening to destroy my YouTube channel, and I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. This morning, I received an IP infringement notification directly from Warner Brothers stating that the Mortal Kombat mods and my content infringe on their intellectual property. So he tried to reach out to Warner Brothers to figure out what videos infringed. Because he mods a lot of the Mortal Kombat characters into other IPs. I will say I can see where his infringement could happen. Like here's
my son likes watching those videos. Yeah,
here's a screenshot of I think of one of his mods. So I can see where Disney might have some problems with that. But once again, this is an issue of, I think, the system of basically, I can tell you whatever, threaten you, and if you don't have a big enough backing, lawyer, time, money, you're just done.
Right, if you're on a large enough channel and you can't make them tell you, you just gotta. You don't know which videos they're talking about. That could be a pain. I'm amused because I doubt it's harming the Mortal Kombat IP, considering Mortal Kombat 1 has not been doing too hot. I mean, it's considered a so-so fighting game.
Well,
it's not the one people are following now.
Apparently, on his YouTube channel, many people say that they want to get Mortal Kombat because of the mods.
Dude, last two character releases. See, I keep up with this stuff. The last two character releases came out with a whimper. Like, nobody was really paying a lot of attention. I mean, the last one that got a little attention was Peacekeeper. But after him, their own IP characters, nobody cared. They released Ermac, and nobody cared. And they released someone else, and I've already forgot the name of the character, which says a lot. I can't even remember the other Mortal Kombat character because no one cared.
Yeah.
Like, their own characters are not even garnering attention. The only thing that even gets people's attention is the non-Mortal Kombat characters. Which is say a lot because he's modding in.
Yeah. I mean, my big thing is not even the fact of the takedown. technically, from what I've seen, he does. I'm surprised more people haven't asked him to do takedowns of IP, especially some of the characters are of companies that.
Oh yeah, the Disney stuff. I'm shocked
that are very. The issue I have is once again this blanket takedowns. You know, if you. I mean, there should be some legal precedent somewhere, or if not, somebody needs to create some, where if you tell me I need to do something because I'm infringing on your IP, you need to clearly show me where I'm infringing on your IP. And then if, you know, once you clearly document, well, this is your infringement area, then if I don't take it down, I get the issue. But this is somebody, he has to take down his whole channel because he doesn't know what the infringement is, and he can't afford the legal battle.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, because the thing is, they went through the effort of fighting it, so they know.
Yeah.
They have to know what they're claiming, or else they're making a false claim. So they got to know. Yeah, video A,
it's
B,
like,
C.
I mean, to me, it's like a warrant. You know, if you have a warrant to search my house, usually the warrant designates why and what you're looking for, you know, and all this. You know, you have all this additional information.
Yeah. There's going to be a reason. I mean, I agree that, you know, when you're coming at somebody's business, that proper communication should be required so that you can react appropriately, because clearly he's willing to comply. But how can you comply? It's like some things we've seen, and I won't go into detail on, where we've seen where you watch those videos, the same video I watched, where a guy's getting conflicting orders.
Yeah.
Then he gets, like, harmed by authorities, but he was given conflicting orders. Like, he's got two different authorities yelling two different things at him that he can't physically do at the same time.
I mean, once again, it's not that. It's just that it's so broad, man. It's so broad.
It's similar, though, where it's like, yeah, how am I supposed to comply when you're not giving me the tools to do so?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to reference, though.
But, I mean, if you're given a plain sight warrant, you can't search people's drawers, you know? That's what I'm saying. It's usually, you know, something, legal terms usually are very detailed, but for some reason, our copyright and takedown notices and stuff are not.
Well, it's really more, that's more how YouTube enforces it. YouTube doesn't enforce that requirement. YouTube is quick to back the companies on any little thing they throw out. I think that YouTube's the one that needs to go, hey, you know, you need to go ahead and list of reasons, because what'll get a channel taken down isn't that. It'll be YouTube striking him, giving him strikes and taking his channel down. So what needs to happen is that YouTube needs to go, hey, guys, we need you to at least say where and when. We can't just be throwing 800,000 subscriber channels out. You know what I'm saying? Because you decided to go, they infringed. Where? I don't care. Just throw their channel down. Like, what? No, man. You got to tell me where.
Now, it does sound like, I mean, they're getting around this by basically, they sent him a notice. So it may not be necessarily a legal notice. They sent him a notice and basically said, if you don't take it down, we're going to issue copyright strikes for each one. And, you know, once you get 3 copyright strikes,
the whole
channel goes down.
Because it says they request him to delete all his Mortal Kombat 1 videos. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then just delete all the Mortal Kombat videos and say how much that Mortal Kombat 1 sucks. I would just go like, okay, delete my Mortal Kombat 1 videos. Tell everybody they're a bunch of a-holes. Because, I mean, that's messed up. They wanted to pull everything related to Mortal Kombat 1. Because, I mean, it draws attention to the game. But if you want to sit up there and have a big channel like that, you know, that, you know, give you a black eye. I mean, you know, dude, we've already talked about this enough times. Companies don't care about their IP anymore. Because, I mean, to me, unless he was doing something really sus, I don't see why you had to say delete every Mortal Kombat 1 video from a big channel. That seems weird. I know that my son watches videos like that. He likes them. He likes watching the modded videos. They're really popular with the kids. But if you want to say, yo, you know, we don't want people liking our stuff, You don't want our stuff on popular channels. We don't want our stuff seen. Sure. From a business perspective, I think that unless somebody's doing something egregious or inappropriate with it, that you want to be in the cultural zeitgeist, you know? You want to be a part of everything. You want to be seen. Fortnite's a perfect example of that. They'll put the stuff in their game because it's out there. You want everybody seeing your content. You want it to be a thing. Right, Bloodaxe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what properties the WB is talking about they're infringing their rights on, but, the fact that, people are doing videos with their characters or with their IP, and people are wanting to watch it, that should just generate more interest for their IP. I agree, unless they're doing something extremely egregious, like when Cyberpunk, whenever they were swapping around Keanu Reeves' likeness in certain scenes that was inappropriate. Yeah, be respectful, but I mean, it's a fighting game. I mean, there's only so much you can actually do. But I agree with Xeno that if there's not a specific instance of I want you to take away Bugs Bunny from fighting Goofy, because most YouTube channels that rely on regular content, they'll post up 5, 6, 7 videos a week, if not more. So if you've been doing this for months, how many videos you have to sort through? And this is a source of livelihood, probably not just for him, but also for other people that are working with him as well. So you're adversely affecting people's lives.
Yeah.
And unless you can get specifics, I think it's a really tacky move. And I agree. And if they're going to pull this stunt, then just say how shitty WB is or how shitty Mortal Kombat is, and find something else that you can post videos that are interesting on YouTube. But it is kind of ridiculous that people just blanket. I'm going to strike down your channel because I don't like a character. Well, be more specific, dude, because it's really kind of ridiculous. And you're right. Who cares about Mortal Kombat 1? I mean, the fact that anybody's watching the content, you should be thankful for that as well.
Well, and you did sort of hit a nail on the head there too. He does mention he has a team of modders that work with him on both a part-time and a full-time basis, and the revenue from the videos pays their salaries. So yes, this isn't just hurting him; it's hurting a team of people who are creating this content.
And just a final note is that, like, my son knows several characters from different stuff because in the funny videos he watches on Gary's Mods, and there's a hide and seek game and a couple of other ones. It's because people mod in these characters. It's not because he plays or likes those other games. It's because of this. It's because they leaked into the market, into his pool of entertainment because of people like that, making them funny. And it's like, oh, that's some dude from that fighting game. He can't name a DOA character because nobody does that for DOA. He doesn't know them. He doesn't know most of the Street Fighter characters, but he knows like Adventure Time characters. He knows all the Mario characters. He knows a lot of other characters, even from some games. He'll know a character from a game. I'm like, how do you know that character? Oh, you can play that character is in a Gary's Mod game. You know what I'm saying? Or that character was modded into this. So, literally, they're saying, hey, we want to reduce our market, our visibility, and our reach.
Well, like you said,
on a
Gary's
market that's
Mod,
already dying.
Gary's Mod just got the big Disney hit, so, yeah.
So, what they're doing is they're removing themselves from people's eyes. And, okay, then your gaming franchise can die off. Because, honestly, Mortal Kombat hasn't been good for a really long time. We stopped playing it. Don't touch it. So, you know what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and throw yourself in the waste bin. Your game sucked for a long time anyway. I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just I haven't liked a Mortal Kombat game for a really, really, really long time. And then you see them being a-holes to people, and you're just like, wow, I at least didn't have a problem with the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a problem with the company. I just thought the games needed to upgrade. The 2D fighting model is kind of old, man. I'm kind of looking for you to get like DOA. I hate they're not making another one or Tekken. Get to the 3D. Come on, upgrade. start to get to that next level of fighting game. And then they're over here going like, hey, man, people are watching a bunch of videos about our games. We don't want that.
We're talking about watching stuff, and not to hate on Warner Brothers all episode. Let's talk about Pixar.
They're not going to be watched by a lot of people.
Pixar lays off 175 workers as it returns to focus the films. Basically,
14%.
Disney had invested Pixar to create a bunch of crap for Disney Plus.
I think you meant to say original shows.
I meant original shows for Disney Plus.
Jeez, wow.
I mean,
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know anything about them. I can't. I joke crap, but I mean, in all honesty, I'm not Pixar's demographic. So I'm old and grouchy.
I enjoy a good Pixar movie. Because I've had to watch with my kids enough that
you're part of the demographic because you have kids. Where Bloodaxe is part of the demographic. He has kids. So. I don't have kids, and I'm old, and I'm grumpy, and I don't really give a shit about any of this. But, to say the least, I mean, the way they're spinning this is a benefit to Pixar as the Disney Plus, all the massive just pushing out stuff to Disney Plus, and that's why I said crap, is because they said that hurt its image. If it hurt its image, then it must have been they were pumping out just junk to fill Disney Plus instead of quality movies, which they're known for. Look, I know Pixar is well known for its movies. Was well known for its movies.
Dude, it's been a while since there was a good Pixar movie. It ain't like it's just been recent. They've been bad for a minute. And it was before Disney Plus was a part of the equation. I mean, Lightyear was bad. Turning Red or Seeing Red or
Lightyear
Panda
was
Red.
part of the Disney Plus thing, right?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, was Lightyear part of the...
says Disney also released Lightyear to disastrous results. How could Pixar, the gold standard of animation studios for nearly 3 decades, have gotten a movie so wrong? Especially one about Lightyear. Yeah. But basically, this is supposed to allow them to focus back on movies.
Well, like I said, they fired 40% of the staff. They've been shut. They say, oh, look, we don't have to. They got shut down, man. Cutting projects is never good from a business perspective. I mean, we'll get Bloodaxe perspective. He's got a good head on shoulders, too, for this stuff. To me, when they say, yo, we don't want you doing any of this anymore, that's not a good thing. Because, when your workload starts getting cut, that's usually because you're about to get cut. That's what I always used to see. So when they said, yeah, we don't need any original shows anymore, that to me is a red flag. That's like, usually you start sweating when they start canceling projects.
I don't think it's so much about that, though. I think it's more that Disney Plus is becoming less of a focus. I mean, they're reducing the number of shows for Marvel that's going to Disney Plus. They're reducing the number of shows, from Lucas going to Disney Plus.
The investors might hear you. Bob's going to be mad, man.
Disney Plus has not made any money. Dude, Bloodaxe, what do you got to say, man?
So I was looking at the list of Pixar properties. Elemental, 2023 lost money. Lightyear, 2022 lost money. Turning Red, 2022 lost money. Luca went straight to streaming, lost money. Soul lost money. Onward lost money. The last time a Pixar property was profitable was Toy Story 4 in 2019. So that kind of gives you an idea of 5 years of failure that they've actually happened to come across. And those are films. So even films on the past half decade have been failures. I think it has more to do with the content that they're pumping out versus the staff or their focus. Because nothing they've churned out is even remotely interesting to me at all. And the only thing that if they were doing, like, hey, what's coming up down the pipeline?
Their next one is Inside Out 2.
Maybe. I mean, if they want to do like an Incredibles 3, I'd probably watch that. Toy Story 5, didn't really care for the fourth one, so I'm not really interested in a fifth one. The Cars franchise is pretty much dead. The Good Dinosaur was terrible.
The Cars franchise is one of the franchises that they pushed heavily into Disney Plus with the Cars on the Road.
Now, Brave was a good one. That was back in 2012, though. I mean,
you're going way back.
A lot of their stuff lately has just been either rehash or bad choices. No one needed a Lightyear movie, and even if they did a Lightyear movie that was worthwhile, people would have gone to see it. But pick something that's actually part of Star Command. But the choices that they've made with the stories have just been garbage to the point even my kids aren't even interested in watching it. So Monsters Inc., that would be another good one, but it has to be done well. Yeah. But then again,
I mean, the claim here is that as of 2020, Disney started pumping a lot of money into Pixar to pump out a lot of material so that they could either go straight to Disney Plus or end up on Disney Plus soon after to basically pump Disney Plus up. At the time, they were trying to focus on getting apparently 260 million subscribers. They got up to about 87 at the time that they were wanting to have 260. Now, apparently, they have up to 154 million. So even today, they're nowhere near the number that they pumped money into to try to get to.
Jeez. Well, the thing, too, is that I also believe that because me and Blacks were talking, and we're going to skate a little on the razor's edge here because he said sometimes we don't say what we're thinking. And I'll say so. We're going to try to stay on the razor's edge here, but also speak a little bit of mine. Bloodaxe, I agree with you. I'm gonna back you on this too. That's not why Pixar's not making money. It ain't because they were putting stuff out to Disney streaming, man. All those movies you just mentioned, none of them had the depth and topics that the previous good movies did. They also changed their focus. They changed their target audience. They changed their focus. So if they don't change what they're making their movies about and what they're trying to say, they're not going to make money no matter what they focus on. And I will say that. I have no problem saying that because you just listed them out loud, and I was sitting here listening. I was thinking of the movies that did make money, like Toy Stories and Cars and Up and Inside Out, the first Inside Out. And I was like, and WALL-E. And then I was thinking about, Outward and all that. And I said, well, what's different about that generation of movies and those movies? And I said, oh, wow, it's okay. And I'm like, all right, well, we're just going to pretend like maybe you're not losing money because you changed your whole style or your focus. Maybe you weren't telling heartwarming family stories, really. You kind of started telling something different. If you keep ignoring why you might be not making money, you're not going to make money. So I have no problem saying that, man. Yeah, I think the problem is not just they were focusing on this. I also think that we have not gotten a movie that was even close to what we were getting before.
I think it's the curse of Disney, man. I think if Disney pumps money into something, it's got to be bad.
Yeah, well, maybe that money comes with a list of guidelines.
That's very possible.
There.
And so I heard Doctor Who is going to go to cinema.
Disney pumps money. That's what he was doing. I didn't even get it. I was so focused on just me and Bloodaxe just talking about it. But, there you go. Disney pump. And, this season of Doctor Who ain't what Doctor Who's been about the whole time either.
Oh, man. Doctor Who on the big screen. I mean, this has been a thing that
I'm going to get a tinfoil hat.
A lot of popular shows have done in the past. I mean, I think we had a Supernatural theater debut of a season finale before. We've had several, of the big animes. We'll do
People like Supernatural.
we'll do theater
People like those
releases.
animes.
So I mean, why not Doctor Who, right?
But the people were going to see, though. They were going up. They were doing well. They were doing so well, they put them in theaters.
I don't think this is the first time a Doctor Who show has also been in the theater. If I recall right, I think the War Doctor stuff
it was popular. It
was in the theater. I recall.
It was
I believe
it was doing well.
Oh yeah, and
See,
it's always a limited release. So a lot of times where we're at here, we don't get it. But this one I think is just in the UK, right?
Yeah, from what it's saying. Yeah, but actually, hear that? They're gonna do the last 2 episodes of the new Doctor Who season in theaters. That's lowest numbers ever, the lowest viewership ever. So you know what you do? Go into theaters, man.
That is somewhat what I was alluding to there. With the popular shows and the shows hitting off, going to theaters.
I'm trying to find episode 4's numbers. Keep going.
Yeah, it is amusing with the numbers of Doctor Who that they're trying this.
If it was like the Christmas special, that actually might be a smart strategy. You're out with the family for the holiday. You want to go watch a movie, and then it comes on TV a couple weeks later or whatever. That would be smart. Especially when you bring back some of the older Doctors. But you can't get people to watch this more. Were there are like 1 million right now for the free episodes, and you can't break that? This is going to be embarrassing. Even more so than it already is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, dude. I mean, I don't think that's the numbers for it. I think I don't know what they're doing here, unless they want to start. Disney has been rumored to buy out theaters before to pad numbers, so maybe by doing a limited release in the UK, maybe Disney thinks they can afford to pad the tickets enough to make it look like it was a successful adventure.
But you do know that when you do that, you're only getting back 50 cents on the dollar because the theater gets the other half.
Disney's never worried about money here, buddy. Disney's all about looky, we're doing so good.
No one believes that mess.
Well, no.
Hey, current update. Episode 4 viewership broke a record. And no, not a bad record. It has the highest number of views for this season. 2.62.
Really?
No, that's terrible. 2.62 because the 2.6 was the first episode. This was 2.62. But it's just up.
Well, no, I'm surprised that it went up.
They say the Doctor's barely in it.
Yeah, but that's obviously not the reason. There had to have been something in their marketing that pulled people to it.
No, we're not covering it. What I think,
well, it's probably because
well, no, and that's I mean, we do have that.
Oh, because now it sounds a little more realistic.
So, and that's sort of what I was alluding to. Could it be? And this is something that several YouTubers have noticed. I don't have the evidence. I've not done the research, and I haven't really seen any news articles pull it up. But apparently several YouTubers have found where comments are identical. And
a lot of the uptick votes and comments are look like copy paste apparently.
Yeah,
apparently. Now this is what appears, and they're under different names, which is usually a sign of botting when you see a copy pasted review, but under a different name. Now the legitimate is this, don't know, but it is definitely they've got screenshots. Could be doctored, could not be doctored. Get it, the Doctor. But, well, this is odd to suddenly see this boost in viewership after the episodes kept getting such a big turn down. So I am now even more curious because the 2.62 viewership for the fourth episode is a significant boost because they were down to 2.04. So they suddenly gained back like more than 500,000 viewers. But the third episode was considered to be so-so and also did not have a lot of viewers. What caused that sudden jump in viewership? Well, when you catch botting and then you see sudden number changes and they make this weird announcement about putting in theaters, I'll admit, my tinfoil hat says that I think Disney, because I trust Iger about as far as I could throw the Epcot Center, I think they're fudging numbers. I will say it. I don't care. Again, I don't have anything to back that. That is pure paranoia, if you want to call it, or pure tinfoil hat, but I don't trust the numbers just because it's too large a change without a reason for the sudden change. Because from what I've heard, I haven't heard anything about the episode being particularly just like, oh my goodness, this episode is just like out of this world. But with the bot accusations, similar, the same comment being caught, posted over and over on reviews, and now you've got a sudden change in viewership. I wonder if they're trying to build up to that theater review and if we're going to see a lot of oddities start to appear. Now, mind you, you can fake the numbers all you want. It's not going to generate real money. So it'll all come out in a wash.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's where the whole go broke thing is. I mean, when you're spending that much money to try to cover up your own mistakes,
you're eventually going to end up at a net loss. You can only fake it so long. I mean, you can fake it for a while though, but you can only fake so long.
Yeah.
But I guess also when you're celebrating a 2.62, which is still like the third or fourth lowest viewership in an entire history of the show almost, they're like record breaking. No, it's not. That's terrible numbers. What's her name? Jodie Whittaker kicks those numbers butts, man.
Michael in the chat room said, I know Doctor Who fans that are diehards that have all switched off. You cannot even mention it. They have forced me. I've got a weeping angel here. I've been a big fan. I mean, I was actually talking to somebody about the, back when Jackson in the late 1980s, I think, had a Doctor Who convention, and had Tom Baker and Pertwee were up here with the yellow car and all that stuff. I mean, I used to live on Doctor Who, and I'd prefer not to be talking about it right now. I really would. It hurts. Big fan. Used to watch tons of the original. Was happy to see it come back. Not the U.S. one, but but the 2005. I was really excited to see it come back. Watched every episode until just the writing started getting so bad with, honestly, I really like Capaldi as a doctor, but that was at the point where I was checking out because the writing of so many of those episodes was really bad. And then after Capaldi, I've just never really caught a good episode. So.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's my tinfoil hat. What do you think, Bloodaxe? Do you think, legitimate rise in viewership, the theaters maybe is going to be a big success, or are we looking at shenanigans here? Or your own theory, third option?
Well, the Disney board calls haven't gone well. Publicity for Disney's in the toilet. Their stock's tanking. I mean, they're trying to pull out all the stops in order to try to turn around everything other than make better content. They did this with the Marvel movies with Black Widow. They did a split release between Disney Plus and they put it in the theaters, and then it was strictly theaters. And so they're trying to find ways, and kudos for being creative. But unfortunately, the people that are making the business decisions are making just piss poor decisions because, again, just like Zeno said, they're not making content people want to see. If you make good content, we will watch it. And right now, between him and Doctor Who and me and Star Wars and everything else, they're not doing anything that I'm remotely interested in at all. And I'm in the majority because a lot of people across this country are having the same sentiments as I don't care about what they're doing because I'm not the target audience. It's not made for me. And they keep scratching their heads and want to know why people aren't interested because it's shitty stories. And until they turn around and actually start making good content, regardless of the message, people aren't going to tune in. And yeah, they may go buy up the tickets and look, hey, look, we're making money. But when you're losing subs on Disney Plus and your other properties in the theaters aren't making money, it's just another lie. And people are starting to catch on that that their shady shenanigans are exactly that. And until they have either change of leadership or they get smacked in the wallet enough, they're going to keep trying this crazy crap until either they go bankrupt or they get better leadership.
Well, and I mean, I will say Disney did have a win this week, though. Deadpool and Wolverine has set a pre-sales ticket record. Most pre-sales ever for an R-rated movie.
Too bad they spent all that money on Doctor Who botting and fake news.
And I mean, this is for a movie that pre-sales are happening for a July 26th release. It means already before, 2 months out, they've already brought records on the pre-sales.
Yeah.
Now, I am hate to say it, I'm excited about the movie, which I am so worried is going to have some horrible. I have so little trust in Disney, but I have a decent amount of trust in Ryan Reynolds. So it's really hard here. I couldn't bring myself to do any pre-sales or anything like that because I just don't trust Disney.
I honestly believe Ryan said, I'm not doing this unless you guys are all barred off the set and Kathleen Kennedy has to be muzzled and locked in a closet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
There's no way she is allowed within 100 feet of that set.
But, I mean, yeah.
Because physical contact with the set would ruin this movie. She can't even be allowed near it.
I mean, and this is one of those things. It's like, here's another IP we know is a good IP. It's doing well. And the first question everybody comes to mind is, when is Disney going to fuck it up?
The next one, but not this one. The next one. But my thing is this. I think it's going to do great. I think it's going to be a great movie. I didn't think Iger's going to take all that money and squander it faking other stuff like what I just talked about, and it's going to not accomplish anything. Because here's the thing. One success used like Bloodaxe just said to finance 30 failures means still a net failure. The Doctor Who series, this UK theater is probably going to lose as much money as this movie makes, especially when they buy all the seats. Because that's what I was getting to. We think they're going to fill all the seats. I don't think anyone's going to go see it, but I think it's going to be sold out. Wink, wink. I think it's going to sell out in the UK, and going to be like 3 people sitting in an empty theater and going like, that's weird, man. All the seats were sold out, but there's only 3 of us in there. I don't think it's legit, and I don't expect it. It's going to be trash all the way across. And so sadly, while this movie I will do well, and I do believe it, I think it's going to even be a good movie. I think that Bob's going to lose all the money they're making on this almost immediately on the other stupid stuff that he's doing. So it's going to be a net failure, which means we're not going to get a good other movie. This will be the last good Deadpool movie because he's going to waste up all the money. It's going to get wasted. They're not going to have the money for the next one, and they'll go, well, we need to make sure the next one's better, so now we need to interfere with it, and Deadpool 4 will be a trash fire. So it won't be this one. I'm optimistic. It'll be Deadpool 4.
Oh, what do you think, Blood?
You know, I agree that I trust Ryan Reynolds to know the character, and he's written a lot of the content for the first two films. But I also trusted Mark Hamill to play Luke Skywalker in a way that was Luke Skywalker, and he got neutered because that's what Ryan Johnson told him to do. And being a professional, he did what he thought was against the character's motivations and did what the script said to do anyway. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds has enough pull to say, hey, no, we're doing it this way or not. The fact that you've got Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine, who's also a consummate professional, I don't think he would have reprised the role if you read the script and they were doing something completely stupid with the characters. So it's probably going to be a good film, and it'll make money. I have no doubt about that. But unless they have other films like you was talking about that actually are starting to make compensation or starting to go into the black, it's just going to be a bandage on a hemorrhaging wound because everything else is losing money. And so, yeah, I'm cautious.
I mean, I think it's gonna,
but I'm gonna wait for reviews to come out before I even go see it.
Well, and I think a lot of people are. Even this article mentions, if Deadpool and Wolverine is actually good and word of mouth spreads, I can easily see it becoming the highest grossing rated R movie, R-rated feature ever. And I agree. I think a lot of people are putting their money forward. They're going to do these pre-sales. They're going to have a great opening night. And they may actually see a very steady boom after that if it's good. And, this one may break $1 billion. The first one broke 700. I think it was 782 million. Oppenheimer, which was recently in theaters, did 974 million. I think this, if it's good, could easily cross that 1 billion mark. And if it does, it's going to give Disney
a lot of money to
lose. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be able to do some really stupid stuff, man.
Well, so let's see what's coming up. We have the next movie is going to be The Young Woman in the Sea, which is Daisy Ridley playing some character with coming out May 31st. I've heard nothing about this film, and that's
coming
the
from
next
Disney
one coming out. Then you have Inside Out 2 coming out in June. Then you have Moana 2. Then you have Mufasa, the Lion King, followed by an untitled film in Snow White. So other than Inside Out 2, which has potential, I don't know if any of those movies are actually going to make any money.
I've heard that the Mufasa King trailer has been doing very poorly, too. Like, the trailers have not been doing well.
There's no Marvel movie coming out that I'm aware of, or no Star Wars film that can piggyback off of any kind of momentum that you would even get with a positive Deadpool film. So I don't know where their win is unless they get a surprise hit with Moana 2, which is potential because the first one was a good movie, but that was a pretty solid story. I don't see where you can go with it from there. And how many Lion Kings have we seen? We don't need a Mufasa movie. And then we already know about the troubles that are coming with Snow White. So I don't really see how they're going to have any kind of win outside of Deadpool. And
Snow White's showing for next year now. They only show 6 movies for this year, which
live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, live action Lilo and Stitch, Moana 2. Deadpool is the only Marvel movie for the whole year, which they say is actually one of the reasons why they think it's going to do as well as it is because, your nerd base hasn't had much this year.
It's your superhero movie.
Yeah.
Because Captain America is still being fumbled
Captain
with.
America, they're saying 2025, and that's even questionable from what I understand.
Yeah, nice.
Fantastic Four 2025, which is questionable. Blade is questionable at 2025. Disney has not got the record going right now. So, We'll see.
Plenty of movies to burn that money they make off of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Now. Plenty of movies to burn all that so that they, like, literally by the time they do the earnings call, they get it and they've lost it before they even get to the earnings call.
I mean, the thing is they're already merchandising Deadpool and Wolverine. They're actually getting money off of merchandising already. You know.
That explains how they were able to get that 0.6. Okay. That's that paid for it.
I mean, the thing is, dude, I mean, this is a big win for Disney, though. And that's my thing. The loses, they have a win here.
The least Disney thing
the
is
least
the only win.
Disney
The thing they had nothing to do is not really anything they would have wanted to do. Probably did not want to do. Their biggest win is the thing that we didn't even think Disney would ever do.
Supposedly Ryan Reynolds had to fight to get the R rating, and they finally decided, Disney okay, you can't do Deadpool without it being R rated. But it took them a while,
It's amazing because you look at what they allowed them to do in the first few episodes of Doctor Who.
Also, supposedly, this is like the second, not the first script that Ryan, that was brought up. This is the second script. So, I mean, there's already been some fiddling.
Next topic. No, I'm trying to be optimistic here, man. I got to think something decent comes out this year because there isn't another superhero movie coming out this year. I don't even think DC has anything really lined up. So the superhero movie of the year is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
I don't know what the heck they're doing over at DC, but I haven't heard anything that sounded good at all. And Warhammer 40K looks like it's going to be on fire and thrown in a ditch before it comes out.
Well, with all the hate thrown towards Microsoft recently, it seems that Microsoft may, and I'm reaching here, but maybe having a little more hands-on with the companies. We've talked about Valve several times. The first release video was rough. Excuse me, try not to sneeze here.
That was well timed.
Yeah, go ahead, talk.
Oh, you guys, all right. Basically, we covered the first Avowed trailer. All three of us are RPGers. Bloodaxe, me, myself, and it was looking like maybe it's kind of Skyrim-ish like first-person RPG, and it looked rough. Like we were talking about combat collision, the action looked a little clunky, and they came back to the next trailer and they said they were addressing that. And then they came in and but they said we're going to fix it. We didn't know if they could because it's kind of hard to flip your whole engine. Well, they flipped their apparently.
Well, I mean, they were already, I think, on Unreal, but they were on an earlier release of the Unreal 5 engine. But apparently, their other studios plus Xbox Tech came in, has been helping them out, upgraded the engine to 5.3, probably has some extra functionality there.
I really like to see a trailer of this. Hope they're going to have it at the Xbox thing.
They say June 10th. Is supposedly when they're going to debut the new trailer.
It will be in the Xbox. It should be in the Xbox.
Expo? Isn't the Expo like June 1st to 2nd? When is the Expo?
That's the thing. From what I've read, it's going to be after the Expo
Okay, I had the dates wrong. It sucks they couldn't get it ready in time.
The Expo, there was this and something else that I saw that said it was going to be shown after the Expo.
I mean, it's it right there. It's saying June 10th, yeah.
But
yeah. So, I mean, an upgrade to the engine is what it needed. I mean, the game looked interesting, but it did feel, like I said, it didn't feel AAA. Like, it definitely felt a little rough around the edges. We've played so many of these games, man. I can watch a gameplay and tell you how a game plays. I've just played that many of these types of games.
Yeah.
And it looked rough.
So June 9th is the Expo, so it's going to be the day after.
Okay.
So, I mean, it looked rough, and maybe this upgrade will be the significant, we'll get some significant gameplay upgrade. So, because we kind of were like, yeah, man, we're getting Avowed. I'm not going to pre-order. We're still cautious about pre-order, but but it was on the wish list. Then we kind of pulled back after seeing the gameplay and said,
we pulled back a lot because not just the gameplay, but because of the mechanics of the, being item well, item heavy,
based, yeah.
not having stats and stuff like that. You know,
Kind
you
of
still
not
have a
really
skill
an
tree,
RPG
but
game,
yeah.
more of a
Especially because it's supposed to be based off of Pillars of Eternity, which was a very stat heavy game because it's a Baldur's Gate like.
Almost tabletop style RPG game, and then you switch to a very very dissimilar to the game that it is Pillars of Eternity based on.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm never again. It's just like, keep swapping your weapons. I'm like, I like to play a style, man. I'm into themes. I'm into hey, I'm a wizard. I'm a swordsman.
No.
I mean, if I'm gonna do that, I'd rather just play a shooter and run around and grab whatever weapon I see and run with it. But so that's not really my style. Like you said, it definitely is the Pillars of Eternity. It felt very divorced from the Pillars of Eternity base that the world is. That's the game world. And yeah, in the chat, they're saying they like the look of it. And I said the game looked interesting, but like I said, for this generation, this 2024, didn't really feel like it was a 2024 top of the line. On the first look. Now, they up the engine. So I'm hoping what we see next time is going to be impressive. I definitely believe that could be what it needed. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, like I said, dude, my main thing on this is just the fact that it's good to see Xbox come in and help. Because that gives me a little, with the recent layoffs and all of that, and we've talked about, part of the reason is it seems like Xbox has been too hands off. Maybe reaching in there and going, hey, look, okay, you need some help with something, you got a problem, maybe, you're not filling the game you're developing, let us know. We'll come in, we'll see what we can do to maybe turn this around. And I'm hoping this is a sign of better things in the future with Xbox and
for the Xbox tech team
trying
to
do some quality control on there, because let's be honest, Xbox has not been doing great with its IPs lately.
Having the team come in there and upgrade the engine was great. This is what we hoped to see, which is them take some of these studios and start saying, hey man, we got the tech, we got the money. What you need? You need a better engine? Here's a better engine. You need help? Get these guys in there to help. So it's a sign of better management. Let's keep optimistic on it.
Yeah. Now we'll say, Unreal Engine brings some other concerns. So as of late, recently. There's been...
we may have to learn how to rewrite some things, yeah.
Unreal Engine coding standards require video game studios to use inclusive language in programming and documentation. This is one of those things where it's like, it's apparently been around for a while, but of course it's getting pushed more and more. I think I recall us talking about this in the past, or at least I know.
I think it was lightly mentioned.
I know that the usage of the word slave drives and stuff like that has been brought up several times in the past.
Master and slave drives.
I don't think I've heard the controversy of blacklist and whitelist yet. That one was new on me.
No, and now
I'm not sure why nuke is in the list. But look, I have many a times used this in my daily. I work in software development. We've nuked things before. It is a very common term for going, clean that, get rid of that, wipe that, and that's to try to change the language of development and programming. It's like, who is getting triggered by blacklist? Like, what's wrong with blacklist? There
are people who apply, like even the thing where they said applying gender terms to objects. Like you have to say it. Don't ever refer to an object as a gender, because some people might call their car or the computer, like she's running like a, like purring like a kitten or whatever. Like, oh, you can't use a gender term because why? Why? It's a friggin' hard drive, like whatever. And even the use of female and male connectors, which I was like,
yeah.
What deranged person looked at a connector and found offense with the terminology? Like, it's the insanity of it. That it's the insanity of and what it is that it's just somebody trying to justify their job. Like, this is somebody sitting there going, I got to come up with something. So they wrote a bunch of nonsense. When they went through, they did a search for anything that was a word and said, don't do that, without knowing anything about coding. Because, that's just ridiculous. Because even I'm like, blacklist is not even slightly related to what?
Well, and we've talked about this before. When you find offensiveness in everyday things, what kind of mentality do you have? Maybe you should question yourself if you find blacklist to be racist, or you find whitelist to be racist, or you find, a slave drive or master drive to be offensive to you. What?
Or gender terms being used, not even a reference to people. You know what can't be offended? My phone.
Yeah, inanimate objects.
Like, inanimate objects can't be offended. So you're being offended on behalf of an object that is not alive. I want to point that out. It is not even a simulation of a person. It's not even at least a video game character is a simulation of it is attempting to, but this is a square piece of plastic, man. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. So it's silly. And we're not going to get big into it. It's just hilarious though, like you said, because you're doing coding, you're supposed to be working, and anybody coding ain't got time for that. I think Zeno was saying, man, when you're coding, you don't have time. You're busy working, and you look at somebody who stopped you in the middle of work, and we were like, hey, put that on the blacklist. You know what that term is, man? You don't sit the hell up and do your job. Like, you're just gonna be like, you're immediately not gonna have time for that. You're like, we got to get this out in an hour. We don't have time for whatever nonsense you're talking about.
My thing is these things naturally change over time anyway. If a couple of people start calling it something else,
it makes more sense.
Eventually, it will. Things adapt. To push this in your documentation is just sort of dumb to me. But and it's going to make communicating inside that development room a lot more difficult because you have generations of people working for you, and when you start trying to force these terminology changes, you're basically going to create a gap between your developers.
Honestly, man, if you're working for me and you're trying to develop some hardware or some software and you're doing some coding, I want you to devote as much of your mental capacity to doing your job as possible. I don't need you taking 20 and 30% of your brain to think about some nonsense. I'll be honest and not consider that nonsense. If you're sitting there busy going like, how do I say this in a way where no one in the room can feel that no, man, get it done. Because I don't care. I'm trying to get a product out. I'll pay you money to do your job. You take that money and live your life however you want. But right now, money to you, work, production to me. All the other stuff doesn't matter. I'm paying you this money. You said this money's good, right? We agreed on your salary? We agreed? This is your salary. This is the work, right? That's the only exchange. That's it. All the other crap does not matter. Just do your job, and I'll pay you. End of it. Especially when it's a job like coding, where it's not an interaction with the public. It's direct. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty straightforward exchange of code for money. Why are you even doing this? I mean, I get documents to tell you how to interact with the public. Yeah, you're talking to people. You're trying to keep them happy. I get that. Now you got to be a little more careful. You're talking to people. Yeah. And you've seen Karens throwing fits in stores, so you got to be careful. You're trying to keep them happy so they keep coming. But with coding, you know how your coding is going to be judged? purely on if it works correctly. No one cares if the guy that did the coding is really good at his pronouns. Or girl, or whatever. No one cares. Did the game work? If I turn on my game and it crashes, I don't give a crap what you call yourself. I want my product working. I don't even want to know your name. I don't need to know your name. I need it working. Patch it. I don't need a little signature on the end and then you tell me your life story. I'm just being real, man. It's coding. There is no interaction. When I get data requests and I send data requests, I don't send a blurb about me and celebrate my ethnicity with the dang person. I just send them the report they want. They don't need to even know who sends it. They request data, they get data. That's it. Same thing, coding. Do your coding, the product works. Why does this matter? Because you got to remember, this is not going out externally. This is only being moved around inside between the other coders.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
I don't get it, man. Making your own life harder, and making your workers less productive. Because if they're spending time on this, they're not working.
Last two things I think we got real quick. Apparently over 90 deadlock videos have now linked, but Valve's still acting like nothing happened. That's Valve, people. Valve doesn't comment on anything. I mean, remember that time Epic was talking shit left and right about Valve? What did Valve say? Not a damn thing. Valve just keeps doing what it does.
Check out the summer sale. Yeah.
Don't expect to hear anything from Valve.
Dude, when Valve decides to do Half-Life 3, if they ever do, they won't really tell you they're doing it. It'll just show up on Steam one day. You'll look up, and one day people will be like, Half-Life 3? Because Valve really just doesn't, like he says, they don't even really advertise stuff. They just kind of go, hey, man, when did this? That's it. Yeah. So you can ask them all day. They're not going to explain themselves. Valve is taking, you know what, though? I think they do that? They ain't got to explain. They ain't got to explain themselves. They just be like, you know what? If we don't talk to these people, we don't have to deal with these people. Bloodaxe, they figured it out, didn't they?
I wish somebody else would.
I know, right? Like, just don't say nothing. Just do it.
Then last thing, apparently there's been a big rumor this week that the Ubisoft has made the Assassin's Creed Shadow characters gay, which, they did eventually, I think, hint towards the fact that there would be multiple options. But, if taking a Japan franchise and putting a black guy in it wasn't enough to take away from your Japanese viewer base,
Let's also float
let's shrink it a little more,
Let's go we decided to represent the Japanese samurai historical era game with the black samurai, whose history is up for debate. Because I got into an argument with somebody about that, and I don't know why somebody that was half my age and never been out of the country suddenly thought they knew a lot more about this character that I researched before they were born. But suddenly, apparently, they knew more than me. And it's really odd how often that seems to happen. You got people that seem to think they know more about something than you, and they don't even have a dog in that race. Because I'm like, well, I looked it up because I'm black. And I found out about it when I was like 12 and said, whoa, there was a black guy over there? What was this? And I looked it up and did a bunch of research. But you know more than me because, Reddit told you. Yeah. But anyway, my point is that what I found funny is that I did a search today, because there was a lot of videos of brothers on YouTube, man, that was supporting, man, y'all hating on, I'll be a racist, man. Y'all say black samurai is a good thing. Man, when they announced that he was going to be gay, there ain't been no videos. They all just stopped, man. They just disappeared. I was like, where all the support go, man? I'm up there looking at the comments. Ain't no comments. I'm just like, it just went radio silent. And I'm like,
especially
wow.
what's like one of the people defending it referenced the whole thing of young proteges of
I mean the Koshi sometimes. Oh, you're talking about the writer. We talked about that last episode. Y'all go check that out.
So
I mean,
I don't think this game's going to do so well. I am curious to watch the numbers for
All I'm going to
Assassin's
say
Creed
is that
Shadows.
all the brothers that I was watching that was saying they were going to play it have went silent. And are no longer saying that after this particular reveal. Now, I was laughing because I didn't have a side in it. My actual stance, I said, look, man, I ain't got a dog in the race.
I mean, other than
I
I enjoyed playing a Viking in the Viking Assassin's Creed. I haven't really.
Nice, you got to play a Viking in the Viking Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
huh? That seems unusually on point, don't it?
I haven't really cared about this series. I played the Viking not because it was an Assassin's Creed game. I played the Viking Assassin's Creed because I thought it would be cool to play a Viking.
You weren't even an assassin in that game. You were pretty much just a Viking.
Yeah, you're
at
just
that
a
point.
Viking.
You were just
Yeah.
a Viking. But here's my thing. I actually like Yasuke, and I would be interested in seeing his story done. But here's my thing. This is Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft, man. They're trash. Like, you think they're going to do a serious story? Their story's about a magic apple and crazy aliens and bull crap. If you don't play no Assassin's Creed, its story is freaking ridiculous. So I'm like, I don't take it serious anyway. I would rather the people who did like Ghost of Tsushima do a Yasuke story, do a serious story. Then I'll play it. So I don't care. That's why I said I don't have a dog in this race because I don't expect Assassin's Creed to do a good job with anyone's story. If Assassin's Creed says they're going to tell a person's historical story, I'm like, they're about to F that up bad. I mean, they had a weird dream sequence where George Washington was an evil king, super villain. Like, these people don't do a good job. Assassin's Creed stopped being good at Assassin's Creed 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, where they stopped kind of trying to make sense. Valhalla was good because it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. It was just a really good Viking game. Pretty much was it. It was a really good Viking game. I even looked it up, man. I was like, let me see what Valhalla's about. I said, you sure it's an Assassin's Creed game? He's like, I don't know. What did you do? Raided village, be a Viking? I'm like, did you assassinate anybody? He's like, I think some people didn't see me coming, but it wasn't because you were trying. They just weren't looking.
Well, because dude, half the time when you raid, you're bringing ships of people with you too. So it's not even solo. It's just like, no, I'm raiding a village. Like, no, we boated up to them, shot off fire arrows.
You had a village. You were raising a tribe. I was like, this is not Assassin's Creed. This is take over the new world as a Viking. And become Odin if you bought the DLC, apparently. So I'm like, by the way, not very canonical. So, crazy series, man.
All right, guys.
I fought a Minotaur in, like, the Greek one, but he was a weird science experiment or something.
We're gonna wrap up here, man. Let's. Any last words, Blood?
No.
Q, you good?
I fought a Minotaur
There
in the
you go.
Greek one. It wasn't this game. These games aren't that serious anyway. They're trash.
All right, on that note, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Dicejunkies.com. We found links everywhere we are online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. And as every week,
We hope you enjoy.